story about how the Earth and planets came into being. In the beginning, there was nothing but a vast cloud of gas and dust. This cloud was called the solar nebula, and it was spinning slowly. Over time, the cloud's gravity pulled it closer and closer together. As it collapsed, the cloud spun faster and faster. The center of the cloud became hotter and hotter until it was so hot that nuclear fusion began. This is the process that powers the sun today. The rest of the cloud flattened into a disk, and the planets began to form. The Earth formed in the inner part of the disk, where the temperatures were cooler. This allowed heavier elements, like metals, to sink to the center of the planet, forming the core. The lighter elements, like silicon and oxygen, formed the mantle and crust. About 4.54 billion years ago, the Earth was hit by a large object, possibly the size of Mars. This impact caused a huge amount of debris to be thrown into space. Some of this debris eventually coalesced to form the Moon. The Earth continued to evolve over time. The atmosphere became thicker, and the oceans formed. Life began to emerge in the oceans, and eventually, it spread to the land. Today, the Earth is a beautiful and complex planet. It is home to a vast array of life, and it is a source of wonder and inspiration for all of us. The Earth continued to evolve over time. The atmosphere became thicker, and the oceans formed. Life began to emerge in the oceans, and eventually, it spread to the land. The first life on Earth was simple, single-celled organisms. These organisms were able to survive in the harsh environment of the early Earth, and they eventually evolved into more complex forms of life. About 600 million years ago, the first multicellular organisms appeared. These organisms were able to live in a wider range of environments, and they began to diversify rapidly. About 500 million years ago, the first plants and animals appeared on land. These organisms were able to take advantage of the new resources available on land, and they quickly spread to all parts of the globe. The Earth continued to evolve over the next few billion years. The continents drifted apart, and the climate changed. Life continued to evolve, and new forms of life emerged. About 65 million years ago, a large asteroid collided with the Earth. This impact caused the extinction of the dinosaurs, and it opened up new opportunities for other forms of life. The Earth is still evolving today. The continents are still drifting apart, and the climate is still changing. Life on Earth is constantly evolving, and new forms of life are still emerging. The story of the Earth is a story of evolution. It is a story of how a simple, lifeless planet became a complex, living world. It is a story of how life on Earth has survived and thrived through billions of years of change. And it is a story that is still unfolding. We do not know what the future holds for the Earth, but we can be sure that it will be a story of change and evolution.